Hello everyone, my name is Shadow, and I'll be your entertainer this evening. I'm going to be trying to play Don't Eat The Cashier again, which we didn't exactly get very far last time, so we're going to just start over. Hopefully we won't be having technical difficulties this time. We'll see. Not seeing any indication that we should be having any issues. But let's hop in and get started. Essentially the same stuff again. We are still Shadow. Sometimes I wonder, how'd I end up here? Not that I dreamed of a career as a neurosurgeon or astronaut, but for crying out loud, working at a gas station? On the other hand, money is money. Sent out resumes to every conceivable and inconceivable place, applying for every position where I could somehow use my degree. Art. Very just degree, of course. Here are responses. I had to swallow my pride and find at least something. Human organism wanted for work at gas station. Organism's duties include selling food for mouth, silence and obedience, household tasks, obeying those who are more ancient, friendly team offers, new and old faces of friends, long and different life, consumption of nourishment, juicy juices, trips to human places. Found this note stuck to the glass of the bus stop. Food for mouth. Seriously? This guy's got a style of his own. Apparently the manager is just an eccentric dude. Or is this their new marketing tactic to grab attention? Whatever. People often told me that I have my quirks too, and that's even if they haven't seen my fursuit. Hi gal, hi Wolfie. You're not late, we just started. Well, whatever. As long as he's not a complete jerk who'll hit on me or make me scrub the floors with a toothbrush. Oh dear. Didn't scream. Didn't move. My brain feverishly tried to field any category for the database. Hallucination? Psychosis? Too many energy drinks? Typical middle manager? Monster from my nightmares stirred. Tentacles crept closer to the counter. My god. The creature made a sound. Not from a mouth, it had none. The sound emanated from deep within its bulk. Hollow, profound, and bone-shaped. Greetings, organism. I am Bob, the indescribable and terrifying consumer of worlds, but you, grain of sand, they call me Manager Bob. Okay, I will join you guys. I saw you were playing Minecraft. I will be there. No, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. You will sell food for mouths and obey me, for I am ancient. Memorize the rules of this establishment, for my patience is as limited as the salary I offer you. Rule number 1. You sell no matter what. Chicken food for the mouth. Gremlin food. Noodles made from cursed souls. I don't know why gremlin fuel. Messing me up. Lottery tickets for extra limb raffles. Discount rot. Ritual foil. Everything must be sold. Points directly at me with that creepy slimy tentacle, which for some reason has an eye on it. Every miserable unit of currency brings me closer to my triumphant exit from this pitiful hole. I pinched myself, but didn't wake up. Yeah, I feel like that's a little, This isn't exactly a place to wake up from at this point. Rule number 2. Be polite to customers. Ignore bald spots and werewolf fur. And watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic... that voice. And watch out for drafts when ectoplasmic energetic entities are in the store. What? But don't let them get too bold. Customers are just walking containers for currency, and they should only pay in monetary units. Payment in existential dread or the hair of the dead is not accepted. Many of them come here just to chat because they are idle and purposeless organisms. The task is to make them part with their currency anyway. It's also your duty to heal organisms if they are injured using special kits. If they die, they cannot give away currency. Excuse me, dear sir, you seem to have mentioned werewolves and ectoplasm? My voice is as polite as possible. I managed to compress my primal screaming panic into a tight ball and shove it deep down, because that's the healthiest way to deal with your emotions. Werewolves? And that's not to mention that you yourself are a giant meatball with tentacles, damn you. I shall answer your question, curious polite organism. Werewolves and ectoplasmic entities are just a few examples of the many insignificant life forms that frequent this establishment. What unites them is that they are all slaves to consumption, just like your kind. As for my nature, I am your immediate supervisor and the guarantor of your future financial prosperity. AKA, he pays me. I'm at a gas station for monsters. Got a job with Cthulhu for minimum wage. This is all you need to know. Yeah, that really is all I need to know. The first time, something resembling approval flickered across Bob's many-eyed face. A rare and unexpected display of the grains of wisdom that have not yet left the human species. Hey, I'm apparently wise. Embrace your ignorance, let it become your shield, and a direct path to the status of Human Employee of the Month. As apparently we discriminate between human employees and non-human employees. And what does Human Employee of the Month get? A cash bonus of 25 cents. Damn, a whole quarter. I understand that you, human, are already extremely excited about this, but that's not all. You will also have access to the elite manager's restroom for one full work cycle. I don't think I want to share a restroom with the manager. Not to be rude, but I don't even know if he has the same waste products. I assume his toilet would not be same. During its use, there's a 7% chance you'll be transported to a dimension of endless pain, suffering, and unimaginable... Yeah, I don't want to use that. Really generous. He suddenly places a jar in front of me on the counter. And the last rule, remember, organism, this tip container must be filled with money by the end of your wake cycle. If the bottom of the jar is visible, you will clean the sanitary rooms with this object in the dimension of absolute horrors and suffering for 2,500. What? I couldn't take my eye off the fork, the potential tool of my eternal servitude. At this moment, mind fully capitulated. Yes, I was hired by a multi-eyed cosmic architect squid. Yes, my clients will be non-humans. Yes, I'm being threatened with a fork and eternal toilet cleaner. How could anyone clean anything with a fork? The same will happen if you even think of escaping before the end of your work contract. My ocular sensorium perceives the subtlest of matters. It will detect you in any corner of this pitiful planetary sphere. Crap, I'm stuck here. In a trap. You understand, organism. 2,510? Why not 2,511? Organism, do you dare to use sarcasm? Greatly overestimate your significance, single-brained creature. I warn you, one more joke like this, and the duration of your possible punishment will increase by another millennium, and wrong will disappear from the fork. He gurgles indignantly for a while longer before finally concluding the briefing. Goodbye, organism. Good luck in your currency acquisition and button pressing. Could you show me how exactly do I press the buttons? I point at the sticky buttons on the vending machine. Bob's central eye looks at my finger, then at the machine, and back at my face. Creature sighs. Tentacle extends from his body with torturous slowness. That's not a vending machine, that's cash register. With the drama of a pianist playing the last tragic note, the tip of the tentacle presses down. Click. Bob waits expectantly. Didn't get it. The tentacle presses the button again. This time, even twice. Didn't get it. Seems like he's about to have an aneurysm from rage, and that's despite not having a circulatory system. The button is pressed repeatedly, and the clicks merging into a furious, thundering rhythm of pure anger. Seems like he might explode any moment now. Didn't get it. Outrageous creature! How do you intend to sell goods if even the concept of a button is too complex for your understanding? My teaching method was perfect. I refuse to believe such an ethereal level of stupidity exists. You're mocking me, creature. Don't you dare pull such jokes again. It takes him a moment to regain his composure. He mutters something almost inaudibly about, why me? Why this planet specifically? This concludes the briefing. Remain as polite an organism as you are. Am I, though? And no more inappropriate jokes. He didn't turn around as a human would. Tentacles simply shifted his entire mass in another direction, with a soft gurgling sound as he waddled across the linoleum. Finally, he left me alone. The silence at the gas station was broken only by the hum of refrigerators containing juicy juices and the buzzing of the neon lamp over my head. I stood in the same spot, as if rooted to the ground. My breath returned to me in a sharp, uneven gasp. Hands were shaking. The tip jar, which I needed to fill to avoid ending up in a dimension of ancient horrors, still stood proudly on the counter. Okay, so what just happened? Option 1, I've gone insane. That's the most logical conclusion. Prolonged stress from job hunting, malnutrition, nerves, anxiety, a disrupted sleep schedule. My brain just malfunctioned. Yep, that's it. I'm gonna wake up on my couch in my dingy rented apartment. I pinched myself again. Nothing. Scanned the room once more. All of gasoline and old coffee was still absurdly real. And that meant everything he said was all true. Werewolves, vampires, dips, work. A hysterical mix of laughter and a scream of terror welled up in my throat, but I held it back. I needed to get through this. I needed to... Oh no. Don't tell me that's the first customer. Bells? What the hell? Hello there. Shit. Where the hell did this clown come from? A great effort not to look away from those red eyes burning in the pitch-black darkness. Is he amused? Is he wondering if I'm tasty? Bob didn't exactly give any guarantee that I wouldn't get devoured at work. My brain, still recovering from the encounter with Bob, really trying to figure out how to break this ringing silence. Please don't eat me, I'm just a miserable, tasteless cashew. Ah. Good evening, sir. What would you like to purchase? Purchase? I would like to purchase your attention. You're lucky, esteemed sir. My attention is on sale today. Ah, a bargain. But is it wise to put your best merchandise on discount? Anyway, I adore good bargains, especially when they are absolutely unfair. A truly fair world, my dear soul. You'd be worth more than $6 an hour. And a mere piece of paper reflect your uniqueness. Even 6 of them. Not even 20 could. I wouldn't mind 20 extra pieces of measly paper. My god. Another crazy person with a strange way of speaking. It seems he's in the mood for a chat. So, what is a beautiful, charming soul like you? Dreadful dirty of fortune. Rather, a place like this, doing with such a charming soul as you. Oh, wait. Where are my manners? I suppose I must introduce myself. I have many names, most of which are not fit to be spoken in the company of lovely nobles. The nicest I've heard is the Mad King. Title I plan to pass from me to myself for the coming centuries. However, my mortal mother named me Aaron. May I have your hand? He's gonna cut it off. Sorry, my mother told me not to offer my hand to strangers. Or any other parts of me. Sir. Oh, your highness. I know Fae rules. He bursts into genuine booming laughter. Your mother was truly a wise woman. Masterful stroke of self-preservation. Haven't been rebuffed so delightfully in, well, at least a century. Others prefer to use enchanted swords and works. They forget that words can wound too. But perhaps I can still melt your heart. I have an eternity for that, literally. May I know your name? It is important not to reveal one's true name. It does seem like he's here to play a game. Let's say I refuse to reveal my true name. Humans always do terrible things with them. Refusal? Rebellious? A rebellion against age-old traditions. My liege, rebellious spirits hurt man's respect. What a pity that the plastic badge on your chest holds a different opinion, of course. Noble shadow. Goddamn badges. Oh, whatever. Whatever, I didn't want it anyway. Stoicism in the face of such blatant theft. What if someone steals your identity? You don't even have a spare one. Always good to have at least 10 just in case. There are only benefits. Plus, you always have someone to talk to. Think about it. I wonder if our gas station sells straitjackets. Oh, that's me. I wonder if a gas station sells straitjackets. I need one for myself soon. And another for my second person. Okay, stop it. I feel like my brain is turning jelly. Actually, it's not all that bad. Maybe I've just been spoiled by all those mangas about sinister and tragic monsters. So the only tragic thing about this client so far is his tragic unwillingness to buy my discount rot. So let's finally get to the purpose of my visit. Finally. It's completely unknown to me. Oh, for crying out loud. Nothing interesting in the assortment of this pathetic chat, except for you. So I'm buying your time. Let's have dinner. Sure, you must be hungry. Oh no. Allow me to create a more pleasant atmosphere for us. Raise the goat, mother. Here's the goat, mother. I'm shivering from a gust of icy wind. He just teleported half my gas station to a radioactive dump. Or a radioactive dump to my gas station. Technically not mine, but you know. And the jar is gone. My freaking jar! Like my rental apartment. It seems to smell less now. My dear, back to your life hasn't been easy. But was it really that bad? Don't worry. Won't abandon a leash in distress. Just say the word. Relocate one of these incredibly cozy dwellings. I'm sure the local cockroaches won't mind. Together you can fully enjoy the scent of atomic decay. However, can't go long without familiar landscape. Already ruined lands make me melancholy. All the fun has happened without it. Disgusting. Allow me. Ooh. This is something seemingly less radioactive. Amazingly, I haven't thrown up yet. Feels like I've been flushed twice through an interdimensional toilet. I clear my throat. Seems like I'm sitting at a table. Here I am. Much better. Would you agree? Couldn't be better. Beautiful here. And strange. Is your home? Words of a true poet, Shadow. My two favorite categories, strange and beautiful. Place is more than home. My cage. Greatest canvas for creativity. Every ugly tree, every mad toad, every eye-bearing mushroom, all a piece of me. Marvelous place. Except when rocks grow legs and start running. Including those that people make their homes out of. And now you're a part of this place too. Isn't it wonderful? Ah, great, I've been kidnapped by some weird baking thing. Slowly getting used to the landscape. Fireflies here are quite charming. But it'd be better without that frog with a human face. The frog notices me too. He lets out a sad croak, looks at me with an expression of deep existential despair. Who's that? That's Lore, one of the brave souls who dared to challenge my dear friend who once walked the path of adventure. However, he didn't foresee the possibility of being turned into a frog on a whim. He even tried to wield a sword with his tiny froggy legs, but to the end, a true warrior. Now, however, his foes are mosquitoes, bigger frogs. Tell me, dear, did he bother you? Little existential froggy crisis, I mean. Is it ruining the ambiance? He looks at me with an interested expression. Disintegrate him. What exactly did Lore do? What did this walking sack of manure do, besides trying to kill me? Oh, plenty. Swung a sword blazing with righteous fury. Some such nonsense. Dare to come to my home, world born of my shattered mind, and dictate what the natural order should be. Such an audacious, vile creature. Made such repulsive noises. Clanking, rumbling, shouting, praying, threatening, moralizing. The last part was the hardest to endure. But as it turns out, holiness doesn't prevent frogification. Purification. Found various uses for Lore over the years of our friendship. Oh, the fall of the great Lore. 20th Tuesday of the century. Tuesday filled with pomp, irony, and croaking. Yeah, I guess that also turned someone who tried to kill me into a frog. Exactly, my dear. You see and understand. Simple cause and effect. Action and reaction. He who comes to board shall leave as a frog. How it went, right? Oh, you truly are kindred spirit, Shadow. I knew that. I don't like saying my own name. Feels weird talking to myself. I knew. Delightful darkness. Alive. He thinks my eyes are beautiful. He looks at me with an interested expression. I don't mind, Lore. Don't mind? Excellent. I think he really sets the tone for the whole clearing, aesthetically. Living monument, consequences of poor life choices. Lore, did you hear that? The noble grants you a stay of execution. You may continue your pitiful mosquito-infested existence. So, dinner. I'm sure you must be starving. Traveling between realities would be exhausting. I mean, you did more than I did. This looks strange, but it smells delicious. Meat with honey? And next to the meat, a purple soup, possibly made from a less fortunate cashier. Whether the food is poisoned or not, if I refuse, His Highness might turn me into a frog too. I pick up a fork from the table. This is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. 100 times better than these cheap instant noodles I usually buy in supermarkets. Even the fact that I'm currently in some other universe surprisingly doesn't seem to harm my appetite. Seems you enjoy our cuisine, Chef's always managed to cook those occasions when I noticed it. I assure you, you won't regret this dinner. At least, not for the first half hour after the meal. What about the after the first half hour? This is the best purple goo in my miserable life as a miserable cashier. Purple goo. I'll have to tell the head chef you called it that. He calls it broth, vicious stars, and deceit. I think your description is more honest. Don't be too quick to call your life miserable. Till now it was just a prologue. Now, first act begins. Look at the food with my fork and watch the peculiar scenery from the corner of my eye. Silence hangs between us that might even be called cozy, were I under heavy narcotics. I think it's kind of cozy. You know what? I want to know. What's your favorite animal? Glad you asked. It's right here on our plate. Just kidding. But I do need some time to think. Let's see. The riding flea has its own charms. Very disgusting ones. Carnivorous butterflies are beautiful, but they're dumb and noisy. As we know, what's empty inside makes noise, or what's in my head, always ringing. I think it's a dog. It loves its owner with all its heart, whether they're a saint or a serial killer. Doesn't notice the difference. Lives in constant, joyful state of blissful ignorance, misplaced in a creature that finds endless joy in the utterly mean. It's truly inspiring. Dogs are the jesters of the animal world. I adore them. Especially the small, wrinkly ones. What about you? I like cats. I do like cats, if you can't tell by the fact that I've got a cat on the screen right now. Then we're probably the jesters. Oh, indeed. They are the true rulers of this reality, tiny furry gods of apathy and disdain. We are their obedient, foolish caretakers. I've been lucky enough to escape the tyranny, and enjoy my own. Eat those around. I return to my meal. Just as I chew another bite, I hear His Highness's voice. By the way, how does the meat taste? The human flesh tender enough. My fork freezes half. I have to do this. Not as tasty as the one I had the day before. While looking him in the eye, you're the lawyer. Look at his expression. I meet his gaze. Slowly and with all authority, place a piece of meat in my hand to chew without breaking eye contact. I can't remember ever seeing someone so shocked in my life. Mad grin vanishes, his eyes widen, and his own fork freezes halfway to his mouth. One precious, glorious, sweet moment. Lord of Chaos is completely, utterly baffled. You're a true treasure. You didn't just call my bluff, you raised the stakes to the sky. No, it's certainly not human. Just venison. As far as I can tell by taste, very intelligent. Definitely not Timmy, our carpenter, who unexpectedly disappeared near the large kitchen cauldron. Perfectly sized to fit in it? Definitely not. Yeah, that makes me sure it's venison. I've personally issued several decrees related to cannibalism, perhaps even concerning its prohibition. That's besides the point. I rarely have visitors, and I'd like to tell you about other interesting guests. After all, the most fascinating thing I can share with you. For a place where mushrooms with eyes grow, it can be incredibly dull here. Shadows in the clearing thicken and stir. They detach from the gnarled trees, rising up from the ground like black ink and spread across the wall. Dancing and intertwining, they prepare to perform at their master's whim. Behold this incredibly crooked castle, my dear. Crooked to the point of absurdity, sadly. In reality, its curves look far more aesthetic. Give the creator some leeway for expressiveness. Many brave and not so bright souls tried to conquer this terrifying, dark, eerie, crooked castle. So many that it became even more crooked. You see, this dreadful monster living there never liked being distracted from its important duties. Terribly important duties, like having long, deep conversations with its own reflection, or concocting recipes with raisins. So far, the scariest thing in the story is the presence of raisins. Yes, you do understand. They are a real horror, aren't they? Tiny shriveled bits of deception. They pretend to be sweet, but they are just made to ruin. Ruin lovely cookies, ruin family photos. Don't be... nothing wrong with raisins and cookies, goodness. Oh, how I understand them. The monster was a tyrant, a menace. Chaos and disorder, mostly on purpose. He had countless opportunities for creativity, and wasn't afraid to use them. He made some people believe they were pigeons, and others that they were grains. He wouldn't allow his best servants to have windows, fearing that the moon and both suns would get envious and want to take them away. He demanded they seal the gaps in the doors as well. He locked wizards who came to him for magical gifts in a giant laboratory, promised them power if they invented a kettle that could boil everything except water. Who won, the pigeons or the grains? My lovely liege, it wasn't a war, but rather a true paranoid masterpiece, a ballet of survival. A glorious week, my ballroom was a stage for the feathered cooing apocalypse. Pigeons flocked into huge, proud groups, occupying high places on chandeliers and bookshelves. Grains learned how to hide under rugs, pretending to be lifeless, and attacked only when pigeons turned away. There were alliances, betrayal, a seed that fell in love with a pigeon. Nothing topped this story that year, or was anything worse. I digress. But behold, a ray of light in the dark kingdom. First hero, Sir Lore, righteous in all his clanging self-important glory. He took a knee to rest briefly because the weight of his righteousness was bad for the health of his poor back. Following rumors spread by the same monster, he fought his way through the monster's loyal subjects to... By the way, where did he even find them? Most of my subjects are too busy contemplating the color of suspenders for their suspenders or lamenting fate. Perish them in their imperfection. Anyway, doesn't matter. They were probably the most restless of them. Every story needs minions. In any case, our hero descended into the Grotto of Despair. Grotto of Tentacles. Imagine, the most sinister name you can conjure. The grotto of my parents' disappointment of me. Grotto of Kidneys. Oh. Grotto of my parents' disappointment in me. Oh, but if they could see you now, you're at a royal audience. They'd be proud of you. No, actually, they wouldn't be proud if they got to know me better. But in that case, it's good too. You won't be alone under the weight of their disappointment. But let's not get sidetracked. Into the grotto of your parents' disappointment in you, our hero descended to retrieve an artifact capable of defeating the Monster King. A ring of incredible power, a bit shoddily crafted. I assure you it looks more aesthetic in real life. However, the brave knight didn't know that the incredible power of the ring lay in its 440 pounds weight. That was its only magical property. The incredible thing about this ring is its incredible stupidity and uselessness. The realization that he had spent weeks of his life on a divinely heavy paperweight, and the sudden crushing thought that he should have become a baker instead of a hero, just to get some sleep. Well, it broke his poor noble mind. Not that this mind was ever intended for serious burdens. style you for the night. Bit of gloating. Such of delightful, deserved cynicism. Oh, splendid. How wonderful that we shared this dish together. So the night perished. But then along came Elmer Eagle-Eye. They say he earned his nickname by escaping from an enemy fortress. The third day of his captivity, he noticed that his prison cell was lacking the fourth wall. The fourth wall, huh? An archer of legendary skill who tried to kill me with a precise shot. Constantly. During breakfast, while bathing, at balls, during sleep, and even while I was devising a plan to get rid of him. Audacity. I hate just killing them. Turning them into madmen is much more fun. I bestowed a little curse upon the elf as well. I made it so that every time he drew his bowstring, he'd hear the most annoying melody to his ears. Elmer was a terrible racist. He hated dwarves, so naturally the melody became the national anthem of the dwarves, played in a loop by a bagpipe orchestra. The pure rage it provoked derailed his aim every time. Eventually, he stormed the castle, dropped his bow, and begged for a job at my court in exchange for changing the song to anything else. I was desperate. I was a villain. Everything aligned incredibly well. Now he's my royal huntsman. Dwarf March is replaced by a lively elven sea shanty, and that no one dare accuse me of being callous and heartless. Now he has a salary, good food, clothing, entertainment, and a full guarantee of non-dismemberment. He missed the opportunity to change his dwarf national anthem to dwarf serenades. Shadow, where were you before? Warsodes and comparisons to long stalactites. Endless rhymed verses about the shrine of a beloved's beard. It's a refined, devilish thing. Why didn't I think of it myself? Torment a man not with the sound of war and patriotism, but with the clumsy, heartfelt caterwauling of a species he despises, turning a love song into an instrument of pure, heart-rending agony. Brilliant. Well, really your idea for the future. And finally, the witch. Classic giant hat under which you could easily fit another witch. I clearly need a bigger hat. You tried a different approach. Seduction. You attempted to charm me, to gain my trust, become my spouse. Fatal miscalculation. You didn't consider the fact that I never trusted big hats, or people. Especially when both come hand in hand. Those who wear suspenders and a belt at the same time. A person who doesn't even trust their own pants clearly doesn't earn the trust of his highness. Overalls count as suspenders? Huh. Well? And again, I don't trust His Highness either. I don't trust myself, especially the left side of my brain, especially on Thursdays. But back to hats. I adore big hats. Oh dear, don't even think of wearing them around me. Best I'll turn it into a smaller hat. That's if I'm in a good mood. At worst, badgers. Lots of angry badgers. Meanwhile, the witch was quite overt in her murderous intentions, playing with all her concealed weapons. Why does a witch need so many hidden blades? She must have been very bad at witchery. In any case, she now resides in my dungeon. I haven't decided what to do with her yet. Fate is a blank story yet to be written. So I offer you pen. I simply adore random choices. Give me yours. What punishment fits her? What? Does he really want me to decide what to do with a real person? Can I even save her? Does it matter what I choose? Everything here follows his whims anyway. As long as I play the circus monkey, I have a chance to get out of here alive. Maybe I should just entertain him. Damn, what should I do? Turn her into a hat. A small one. I mean, no one would expect him to spare her. But I feel like turning her into a hat is the most ironic consequence here. One who lived by a big hat shall become a small hat. The irony is so absurd it's beautiful. So be it. Let her be a small cap of eternal regret. She tried to get into my head, and now she can barely cover it. A brilliant sentence. Something's missing from this tale. Never told me about the monster itself. Dear, who cares about these anyway? I do. Monsters are the muck, then I'm the pig. That's one way to put it. How eloquent. Alright, I must admit, it'll be my first performance like this. Aaron sounds a bit bewildered, it seems. Allow me to toss my mind up and see how it lands. See, the monster was originally much more modest and less majestic. But we all have to start somewhere, right? Then it suddenly became a bit crowded. First with an argument, full-fledged discussions that had to be participated in. Involved inanimate objects. Guests in a jar, doors, closets, even in cookie jars. Every container a potential foe. I was surrounded with containers. To be fair, sometimes they told funny stories. But why was I afflicted with this curse? Pondering it drives me mad. Even more so. Seems the question is meant for me. I don't know what the Habsburg were. You cursed for arrogance? Indeed. Perhaps he touched a cursed artifact. Maybe some ring of yours. I feel like that would make sense. Dear, I'm afraid you've confused cause and effect. It's I who drive rings mad, not the other way around. Any poor innocent artifact I happen to touch might start screaming uncontrollably, not trying to ask those around it about the meaning of their lives. No, I'm afraid it's a bit more banal. All about rotten blood. Too pure, I beg your pardon. My great-grandfather issued a decree forbidding death. A distant aunt believed a colony of sentient mold was living in her womb, aiming her inheritance. I always thought that I'd be spared the fate. I had to be temporarily isolated to avoid embarrassing guests at royal balls with young prince pointing at noble lords and saying, "Haha, the gnomes finally got out from under my bed." What a misfortune for the entire family, except for those in for the throne before me. My death would have solved many problems for the family. Indeed, many of my own problems. I made a decision. We made it, to be precise. Already a whole council of us by then. However, Chaos had other plans. A god, a goddess, a clerical error. I don't know. Something ancient, terribly bored, found itself a new source of entertainment. It offered me a throne, my own corner of reality, where fragments of my mind would become the laws of the land. No more restrictions, or pants for my subjects if I wished. No more pants, dang. My subjects, at first then they came to terms, or their minds changed to fit the new realities. And here I am. Dramatic silence ensued. Perhaps I'm the first being to hear this story in the centuries of his existence. Use my next words carefully. Will you give me a tip? It must be rather lonely. Might be risky, but I want to... No cages. More like a playground, with surprisingly silent infants. I don't blame them. I have the best shovel. No wonder I embarrass them. Maybe it's because I love to create explosions. Tell me, have you ever been exploded? No, don't tell me. Let it be a surprise. You really sympathize with someone who dragged you in? Tell silly stories and feed you purple goo. People never cease to amaze me. Nod. Shadows finally dissolved into nothingness. I just turned a living being at, or rather became the catalyst for it. I wonder what kind of nightmares are warranted in such a case. Great royal duties await me. Send you back. Rise from the chair. Squeeze my eyes shut. The light is blinding even with my eyes closed. So unusual after all this darkness. The jar's full of money. All worth it. Greetings, organism. How is your work progressing? I see the first transaction was successful. Acceptable. Still doesn't save you from the threat of cleaning sanitary facilities. A wonderful starting point for your entire tiny life. First client nearly turned me into a cash register. Interdimensional travel is an unconventional interaction with, but if it positively affects their profit per minute ratio, then it is within acceptable limits. Especially if the client paid for the attempted transmutation or its consequences. And there's nothing to worry about. I urge you to relax your muscles, organism. Continue working. I am experiencing a positive emotional reaction. I am proud of you, and I will be prouder if you acquire more currency. Your tactic of adjusting carefree organism is clearly paying off. Okay, goodbye, Mr. Manager. Your tentacles shine particularly beautiful at this time of day. Comment regarding the shine of my appendages. Organism. Secret of it is a meticulous regime of polishing them with VRoid slime. Goodbye. Oh boy. As soon as Bop's rhythmic wet flaps fade away, a deep silence descends on the station. Hydrated a bit. Freaking dry from me, all that. One moment I'm in a surreal forest, dining on purple goo with a mad god. Next moment I'm being praised by a multi-eyed tentacle monster. Maybe these are all just my deathbed hallucinations. Going insane. Some part of me enjoys these mad adventures. An adrenaline junkie. Okay. I think we should be back at a mild loss of power. Things connected again. Not ideal, but hey. Nothing lost. Teams are good. Back to what it was. Unfair bills, unacceptably large numbers. Okay, yeah, that would be where it left off. Of course, what else could upset him so much if not that? Steps. Another visitor. This one decided to come in through the door for a change. He seems unwell. Hope he doesn't knock over my shelves of shampoo with joba oil and delicate lilies on his way. Oh yeah, he does not seem to be okay. He's not just unwell, he looks like hell. Literally. All the skin on the left side is torn off from his jaw to his temple. I swallow nervously. What kind of meat grinder's this guy been through? He looks like someone who could rip me apart if he doesn't like what he hears. I need to be careful if I don't want to become the next victim. Hard to imagine what the other fighter looks. Lets out a gurgling, raspy laugh. You don't want to know what the other fighter looks like. Honestly, I really don't want to know. Inner archive labeled, I don't want to know this, at risk of bursting from overflow tonight. Words clearly come to him with great difficulty. It's probably not surprising for a man without half a face. Here's his throat. That doesn't help much. I need blood. I tried to smile. It would be charming if he still had all the necessary muscles for that. Now it will haunt me in my nightmares, among other things. Ryan pauses again briefly to clear his throat. Let me see what we have. Yeah, good choice, Sunshine. Step to storage. Case. Suddenly leans forward, pouring into me with his remaining eye. Go and find me some goddamn blood. Go and find the damn blood. A strange pressure builds in my head. The edges of my vision. Unyielding command blossoms in the center of my mind. I don't know why, but I feel an incredibly strong urge to find blood right now. My client is covered in blood, but still hungry. Maybe he fought with something incredible. Or own. I found myself in the storeroom, a tangled labyrinth of shelves reaching up to the ceiling, stuffed with boxes, crates, and mysterious cans. In the corner, something rustled and snored suspiciously. So, where could the blood be? I need to think fast. He's not going to wait forever. Right now, at the very beginning of this crazy place. Cream Bob, where's the blood? It's probably food for mouth. These signs are driving me insane. I really hope my manager will eventually learn English properly. I'm surrounded by pure madness of anxious packaging. Even in front of the department entrances, there's some baby fever cyborgs piled up, frantically trying to decipher the cryptic inscription. In front of me are sections with food for mouth. Food afraid of heat. That's energy blocks for chewing. Infused nutritional flows. That's gotta be liquid. Here are the endless shelves of drinks. Next to Coca-Cola are bottles labeled liquid regret and primordial broth, now with nucleotides. Cans labeled Brapsy, Vodka Selnechko. I'd love to meet the person who came up with these names. I check each shelf, pushing aside cans of essence of shits and giggles. Find nothing resembling blood. Closest thing is liquid hematogen in a giant wooden container. It smells worse than it looks. I go back. You're knocking. The dry, rhythmic tapping of knuckles on a laminated countertop. Not loud, but persistent and full of irritation. Fruit afraid of heat, then? The coldest corner of the store. If it's not going to be in liquids, then you do keep blood cold, usually. Next to the frozen pizzas are gremlin cryo capsules, and among buckets of ice cream you can find flavors like minty tritium and liquid family. Oh my god. Huge freezer chamber. Very parts of human organisms. That should be. This section reeks of formaldehyde and horror. Glass jars are filled with murky liquids set on shelves where exhibits float. I try not to think of one of the containers holding a name tag that reads Kevin. Oh, there's definitely blood. I have the option of a homeless person, Kevin, or Michael. Taste of efficient resource and artifact accumulation, taste of unfulfilled dreams, or high contact of cheap alcohol and tuberculosis. Probably not tuberculosis. Michael seems like the most feasible one. Looks healthy and full of energy. Michael, wherever you were on top. Champion's blood flowed through you. You were probably something like an energy drink for the undead. And yet here you are in a jar. Something to ponder. He abruptly lifts his head as I approach. You ready? His voice carries genuine surprise and clear relief. Oh, good thing you weren't wandering around for half an hour. Bring it here. My client finishes the jar and then grimaces. Honey out loud. What the hell is this crap? Reads the note on the jar. Michael. Oh, you were a lucky guy, Michael. Too bad I can't kill him a second time. Tastes like a happy family, successful career, retirement account, and this jerk probably never even had cockroaches. At least he's now liquid Michael in a jar. That's quietly. Yeah, there's something to that. Cool that you found human blood. Good job. Glad to please you, sir, and glad you no longer want to eat me. That approach to business you'll go for, sunshine. Gonna wash my dirty face. Don't get bored. While he's not here, I have a perfect opportunity to wipe away the bloodstains. Just scrubbing a pool of blood. My first day at work. An interesting story for Reddit. A wonderful tale. Doing just fine. Nobody's eaten me. I liked it better with half his face missing. He's looking so much fresher with the second half of his face, although his expression still resembles that of a constipated owl. I'll just stand here for a while, okay? Take a little break. Besides, there's nobody here with you right now. Just so you know, try to contact the werewolves. I'll take your head and crush it like a walnut. I'm David, by the way. A vampire, as you may have already guessed. What an incredibly interesting way to start an acquaintance. Especially that part about the walnut. Do I lie? think I need to lie to him. Nice to meet you, Shadow. Okay, Shadow. I knew a Shadow once. They used to trade kidneys in Venice Beach. They were a good one till they got backed up. Trying to provoke me. Secretly sharing the dirty details of his life to see how uncomfortable I can get. I suppose I'm also selling some kidneys now. Check the exactly 10 categories. You know what? Yeah. I suppose I'm also selling kidneys now. Catalog. You seriously have a catalog? He leans forward, genuinely intrigued, peering into the catalog. Gremlin kidneys? Is that a delicacy? Does it say both delicacy and fuel and animal venom? It's a universal product. You want some? I do. Looks like I found my best customer for today. Now I have a vampire here, and he's regenerating. Wonderful. The main thing is to not accidentally blurt out something wrong. You need to be friendly. None of these are good options. Okay, I guess leather jackets? No, I'm not saying that. None of these are good options. Fine, thanks for not eating me. David lets out a quiet chuckle. The guy clearly expects people to be afraid of him. He might have looked lost when he first arrived here, but now, seeing my fear, he obviously feels right at home. Not over yet. Hello, you're too bony. I'm sure you love to eat all that cheap crap, like instant noodles. People like that, their blood's just tasty. Only if there's nothing more interesting in that blood. So, sir, let's get one thing straight. I am not food, and I am not for sale. Not even for 20 bucks? Well, 20 bucks is 20 bucks. Not even for 30. I just hope my boss doesn't hear this. He might actually agree. Everything has a price, sunshine. Sometimes you can just do something without asking. Philosophical vampire. How incredible. Are you flirting? Am I gonna get eaten? Lord completely abandoned me. David slightly grimaces as he moves his hand. Nuts. Probably not all the wounds have healed completely. Does being a vampire doctor fall under my duties? I think Bob said it was mandatory. Let me help. He looks at me skeptically. The offer of help is probably so foreign and unexpected that it leaves him momentarily dumbfounded. You... what? Want to play nurse? Flicker of confusion, replaced by something more intense. Just a couple of scratches and a little piece of ass that'll grow back on its own. I'm fine. Afraid of doctors. You don't let yourself be treated. My boss will lock us both in a dimension of horror where we'll be cleaning toilets with a fork. Probably not just a scratch, so let me try to help. Give him a chance to save face. Now we're treating him not because he's a wimp, but because he survived an epic battle. Direct blow to his ego. The guy immediately starts puffing up with pride. His eyes light up. But don't catch rabies. I decide to remain silent about how he's already pretty rabid. 4 against 1 in a narrow alley. Now there's a myth about werewolves being am noble, unlike us bloodsuckers. Well, that's a load of crap. One of them was hiding in a trash can, ready to jump out at me. Heart would have definitely stopped dead if it even still beat. Would have just ripped apart from a friggin' heart attack. Afraid I'll never be able to take out the trash again without fearing for my life. Judging by that distant look, he's plagued by flashbacks of what he's been through. David awkwardly moves his injured arm. Alright, hand over your first aid kit. Sure, this won't be the last pack I'll have to take down. There are way too many stray dogs around these days. Go ahead. Yes, it crashed a while ago. We had to start over. Out your band-aids with dark chocolate or whatever you're selling. That's quite a scar. David sheds his jacket, shirt, and t-shirt. Damn, 2 shirts. Settles onto a squeaky stool next to the counter. About to face a serious trial, staying in a vulnerable position for a few minutes. For some reason, cruel fate hasn't made him claw-proof. Certainly looks like he was just thrown into a blender. Judging by those bullet scars, it's quite an interesting past. Or maybe he was just attacked by werewolf cowboys with guns. Most likely the former. Thanks, Cal. Helpful. By the way, didn't know that corpses have doctors too. Thought the only doctor available to me now was the coroner. I'm rummaging through the necromancy kit that was sitting under the counter. The heavy military-style metal box with a faded label reading Kit for Alternatively Living Organisms. Inside, besides standard bandages, there are also some strange items. Silver tweezers, vials of thick, glowing liquid, additional fingers, and of course, an instruction manual. Cheap laminated brochure, stained with something that looks like coffee. In the instructions, the first point states, determine whether or not you are dealing with a zombie. Ask your alternatively living subject if they ever want to eat someone's brain. David is clearly not a zombie. Move on to the next point. He glances skeptically at the pictures flashing in the instructions as I flip it over. Zombies, necromancers, abominations made of bones, flesh, and cabbage whirl in front of his face like a mesmerizing kaleidoscope. All of this lives in the city's sewers? I don't know how you're going to use the bathrooms now. I'll figure it out. It would be great if you didn't notice that. Do I have to deal with all this? I steal a glance at my visitor. I wonder if werewolves just clawed him up or managed to kill someone too. My instincts, something out of the Stone Age, suggests that he could have. The guy has a killer's gaze. See someone like him and automatically own. I lower my eyes. Next point. Let's establish the nature of the injury. What kind of wounds could werewolves? Seems the damage was psychological. Tell me about your tragic past. As it says in the handbook. We want to treat as actual wounds, though. Lacerations, claws, teeth, bit of saliva. David listens to this with the pride of a true soldier. Every word feels like a medal for valor. Something like that. Said it as if he didn't care, but I know better. Let's stroke his ego. Wounds from a real rabid beast, buddy. Got it. Dying of laughter. He chuckles happily, trying to hide a glimmer of pride behind humor. But I won't be. David is no longer just a wounded sucker. A true gladiator having survived a battle with rabid beasts. Absolutely epic. I read through what medication I need, grab the regenerating extract for alternative living life. Now all that's left is to apply this stuff. Dip my fingers in the jar and suddenly he grabs my hand. Do something wrong and I'll rip your tonsils out to your ass. Damn. No way, I'm a pathetic, miserable, harmless cashier. Allow me to do my job, sir. I'll be extremely careful. Phrase of any faceless representative of the service sector. A perfect shield against the surrounding world, the brute vampires that inhabit it. Watch yourself. Don't get a second chance. No, not my vampire doctor's license. I apply this black goo to the wound. A puff of steam rises from the air starts to smell like something frying. Probably very painful, but David remains calm. Not a single complaint, which is surprising. Hope not from your squid manager. Well, we all hope for that, buddy. Now I'll be more careful. My movements become slow and deliberate. Do everything cautiously, barely touching the skin around the room, allowing him to get used to it. See the tense muscles in his back and shoulder relax slightly. Still wound up. Relief is starting to watch. Yeah. Naturally, no thank yous or pleases from him, but at least he's no longer threatening to do something to my ass every 5 seconds. There was definitely a better way to word that. You know, David, every noble knight needs someone to tend his wounds after great battles. Talking about what knight, what battles? Fought in an alley stinking of urine against a bunch of dirty werewolves from territory on the outskirts of a godforsaken city. I tore my pants and I had to take a new pair off a junk lying in a puddle nearby. Am I going to have to put this on his ass? Am I a knight of what? Knight of torn pants? Or wolfhound knight? Oh, go to hell. David says this almost affectionately. Seems we're making progress. Oh, the scars are gone. Finish up. Surprisingly, the wounds really are healing. Scars won't beautify this man. How are you doing all this? It's my job. The question is asked in an astonishingly serious tone. He's driving me crazy. Even more than the clown from earlier, it seems. I want to help, it's a lie, because I want tips. I want to go home, Sims, and watch stupid shows. I want to help, which is the truth, because I'm the mercy. Or I sincerely just say these are my work obligations. Do we think he would have any idea if I'm telling the truth or not? I guess I'm an angel of mercy. Why? David is confused. In his system of beliefs, action always equals benefit. I'm throwing a wrench into this flawless, long-running mechanism. Fetishes. I guess I can't watch someone suffer. Wow. God bless your noble heart. lips awkwardly. Clearly he's uncomfortable, unaccustomed to being the object of compassion. So he immediately hides behind yet another sarcastic comment. What can I do? I feel sorry for every little kitten on the street. Sometimes I even feel sorry for especially large, nasty, troublesome kittens. Must be tough living with someone like that, huh? I bet you have 40 cats living in your apartment and all of them are strays. David reads me like an open book. It's amazing he can even read at all. Oh. Most of the time, help isn't altruistic. People always want something in return. Money, favor. Take them off the hook. Helping people for no reason, like throwing shit against the wind. Alright, moving on. Yes, honestly don't care what's going on in your head. This is the most unconvincing lie I've heard in my life. Clears his throat. Thank you. What? Am I hearing things? I thought he didn't know such words. I'm even afraid to breathe so I don't scare off this rare, exotic display of politeness. He says that word as if he's pronouncing it for the first time in his life. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually the case. Just a couple more seconds and back in front of the counter. So the client is fed, clean, and healed. And yet he's still here, not putting any money on the counter, and the tip jar is lacking. I look at him. He's supposed to be full of energy, but instead he looks lost. David is deep in thought, that dark, gloomy little place that occupies his mind. Are you planning to pitch a tent here? David snorts, hearing the impatience in my voice. What, already tired of my company, sugar? What happened to sunshine? I'll leave when I want to. I don't want to yet. Curious about one thing. I haven't talked to a regular human in a long time. I wonder, by regular human, I mean my extremely natural essence. I'm no vampire, werewolf, or thieving gnome. Does he mean my lack of criminal record, an absence of drug or alcohol dependency? Or maybe he's looking for the perspective of an ordinary worker, a working class person, a great caller. Your face always look that funny when you're thinking about something? I don't even get a chance to respond to his jab before he follows up. Let's conduct an experiment. Suppose you're now a free vampire, able to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. Where would you go? David looks at me expectantly. Now, what weaknesses do you have? Well, no more tanning. Production occurs. You're ugly before it's actually a bonus, right? You can enter without an invitation. Garlic doesn't scare you either. Holy water is trickier. Depends on the situation. Steak works, but piercing your chest should be quite the challenge. Any part of you is quite the challenge, actually. Again, it's like steel. Unless a particularly werewolf comes along. Well, at least you can enter without an invitation. For unnecessary chit-chat with people. What kind of superpowers do you got? Whole lot. Practically a superhero league. I'm sure it never crossed your mind that in reality, bloodsuckers can be way scarier than sappy movies for girls. Looks like he's watched Twilight. Interesting. Some of us not only drink human blood, Also capture people to experiment on them. Turn human bodies into real nightmares, flesh and bones. Dr. Moreau couldn't imagine. And there are vampire sorcerers who can rip your soul out of your body and work for them for eternity. Literally. Seems like I already have one of those sorcerers. His name's Bob. Checking his bills. There he is. Wonder what inner strength it took for David not to flinch. And there are those who can make your head explode. Literally. Just a glance. But all of us are such wicked bastards. You don't even have to kill a person to eat. Drink a little, instead of gorging yourself like a pig at the trough. And some don't care. They just drain all the blood and splash it everywhere. The forensics team is baffled why the person turned into a sprinkler before dying. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Again, vampires open here. Which of these do you have? I've got a decent list of what I can do. I'm not complaining. He didn't actually say which ones they were, though. Imagine it. Never get tired. Party all night long. Fuck off. Stronger than 10 thugs combined. Well, except for 10 werewolf thugs. That might take some effort. If you want to shrink down and fly somewhere, you can turn into a tiny bat. Reflexes become 100 times sharper. Feel everything. You see everything. You can hear a rat piss a block away. I don't want to hear what the rats are up to. Oh, Lord Shadow, that's just an... You can ignore it if you want. All vampires would go insane if that was true. It look like a madman? Slightly, I decide to stay silent. He continues. Finally, make people do anything. Absolutely anything. Are you sure the last one is due to your vampirism and not just because they're scared you'll beat them up? David lets out a sharp, raspy laugh. You're right. Most law-abiding citizens avoid me by 100 miles. A working strategy in most cases. But sometimes you need a subtle approach, you know? The word subtle from this guy sounds almost comical. One thing to scare someone shitless. They give it just to avoid being harmed. Another when they act with full confidence that it's what they want. They don't even realize they're just vampire pawns now. Yeah, I think I get it. You pulled that trick on me too. David smiles. This time the smile is strained. These are the words of someone stuck in a web of artificial connections and ass-related threats. Fear and supernatural compulsion aren't the best foundations for a strong friendship. Oh, I can say that for him. Sure. Even if it's based on my ass, I don't care. Even if it's based on my ass, I don't care. I'm sure he has a fine ass. If you're a bloodsucker, you'll live like this and no other way. In this snake pit, you won't make true friends. Vampires don't live in one big, beautiful house like in Twilight. They're like cowboys in the Wild West, constantly cutting and shooting each other, blowing up houses. David mentioned Twilight again. But don't think I'm whining, it's actually great. Keeps you on your toes. You'll get used to it once you adjust. Yeah, I wouldn't mind being a cowboy. Exactly. Great way to feel alive. Not so dead. You get it. He seems to enjoy talking about how cool vampires are. Why did you watch Twilight? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't watch emo crap. Hold a dramatic pause. David looks like a cornered animal. He stares at the floor, and the ceiling, anywhere but me. Finally, he lets out a loud sigh, filled with disappointment and embarrassment. Fine, damn it, alright. I watched everything. All Twilight movies, watched The Lost Boys, Interview with the Vampire, Blade. The idiot who bit me didn't explain anything beyond the basics, like don't go out in the sun, you little punk. I thought maybe these stupid movies had a clue, you know? Hidden in all that silly romance and melodrama. Most of it turned out to be bullshit. I read legends, searched for info online. As you can imagine, all supernatural beings try not to give themselves away. But sometimes you still stumble upon bits and pieces. Or crazies, one or the other. My favorite, by the way, was Dusk Till Dawn. Too bad vampires don't explode in real life. Someone told me if you sparkle like Edward Cullen. Takes a deep, ragged breath. No, we don't sparkle. Wanna know what happens if I step into the sun? I catch fire. As if someone poured gasoline on me and lit a match. You know what that smells like? Fried chicken. Nasty, excruciating final death. Brutal. Hot man. Oh, his face. What the hell is wrong with you? David has clearly dealt with violence, drugs, and monsters, but a cashier craving fried vampire is clearly too much for him. Oh, that face. I know I've seen a lot of crap in my life, but this is the first time I see something like this. You have some kind of micro barbecue fetish? Nope, don't answer me. I don't want to know. Just pretend I didn't hear anything. Who were you before the bite? He opens his mouth, ready to tell me off, or mention something about butts again, but stops himself. Probably his thank you sealed our fragile friendship. Tell you, but it's probably not relevant. Well, it's nothing. I was a nobody. Just surviving as everything went to hell. Like those bastards born with a silver spoon up their ass. You ever see those happy American families in TV commercials? Sit at a table with a bowl of salad, smiling like idiots. They always have a dog. Well, that wasn't my case. Stepdad was a crazy guy who thought the best birthday gift was a smack on the head. He did teach me how to shoot properly, though. I left my family dump early. Really dumb, but I thought I'd start a band and become a rock star. Of course he did. But as they say, push in one hand, shit in the other, see which one fills up faster. First, I worked wherever I could, and found some guys to do some shady stuff with. There aren't many ways to make a living in the Los Angeles area. Can't exactly work the cash register, right? David jabs again, but without malice. The antisocial environment made him resentful of middle and upper classes. It hasn't affected me yet. Wonder why. No comment. That's the whole story. What about you? Oh lord, this is my chance to make up something cool. Or just tell it how it is. I have an art degree and no dog. He listens to how I ended up in this dump, about my job search and everything else. I didn't sell drugs in alleys, but it seems we still find some common ground. Got it. You're not in your element. David truly understands. Neither he nor I wanted to end up where we are, and neither of us knows what to do next. And we both love cheap noodles, but you can't eat them anymore. I win. Must be tired of those draw me requests, huh? I would draw you. Oh, like a French girl? I mean, I've already seen you shirtless. He tries to look nonchalant, but his eyes show he's interested. Go ahead. I love beautiful doodles. He says the word doodles with such strange tenderness that it sounds more like it sounds more like a compliment than an insult. I pick up a pencil. I'll draw him. Oh, what a face. Forgot what I look like. Bags under my eyes like a junkie. Oh right, he can't see his reflection. I forgot about that. Silence hangs in the air while David examines the drawing. He really doesn't know how to react to the unexpected little act of normalcy. Looks cool. The last words are spoken in a barely audible, almost reverent whisper, unlike anything I've ever heard from him before. 2 simple words, said with all the sincerity this guy can muster. I could do something too. David takes the pencil from me and, with deep concentration, almost sticking out his tongue, scribbles. Hey! A few minutes later, a drawing appears before me. Never would have thought this guy was capable of that. Fine schooler. No doubt Picasso. He even knows the names of famous artists. Definitely hiding something from me. Picasso's one of the more. I was into it a bit when I was a kid. Comics, all that stuff. Nothing serious. I take the drawing for myself. Alright, where were we? David looks at me. I got my decision. I forgot what the question was. He leans in closer when suddenly I hear a wolf howling. I don't even have time to blink before David vanishes. Now he's a little bat hiding behind the counter. Oh dear. Listen up, don't say anything about me. Sit tight and behave or you'll feel incredibly shitty. Trust me, if you rat me out to that mutt, I'll find a way to get out and twist your head off. The threat in his voice is completely lacking, mostly because this voice now comes from a very small, though angry, bat. Angry bat. Werewolf. A werewolf is about to come here now. Oh, he big. Big doggo. Oh. Good evening, Chief. A low rumbling bass. Surprisingly calm and friendly. Can I pet you? Oh my god. I'm listening, sir. Apologies for the sudden intrusion. Edward. You can just call me Eddie. We're chasing down a certain pest. Of course, the werewolf is called Edward this time. You haven't seen a vampire around here by chance, have you? You know, young, a bit scruffy, wearing a leather jacket. See, here's the story. One of our packs nearly took out a vampire sire and his offspring 2 hours ago. Tough battle. We suffered losses. We tried to track them, and found one of them. Well, more like a pile of ash where he once lay. Seems one bloodsucker offed the other one when he was weakened. Your family values are quite lacking. It seems patricide has occurred. David didn't tell me anything about that. Probably that's why he has all those questions about vampires. He was trying to get advice on where to go next after killing his creator. In a completely idiotic way. You see, Chief, vampires are parasites on the body of our society. They drink blood like mosquitoes. But unlike mosquitoes, they kill their victims by draining them dry. Languish in boredom with their immortality and thus destroy human destiny. Play with them, torment them. and derive a semblance of pleasure from their suffering. They are devoid of true feelings. I look at David, devoid of any feelings. He's shaking all over. He looks like such an anky little bat. I would be extremely grateful for any help. Blackmail David. I'm not a monster. I mean, I am, but you know. That bastard threatened me 5 minutes ago. But now he's small, trembling, and helpless. He's my bastard. Force a smile and say I haven't seen anything. Quiet, peaceful night. Eddie examines me close. He's probably catching a faint scent of blood, but my calm demeanor throws him off. Strange. Well, okay. Goes up, just give a whistle. Won't be far from here. Good night, Chief. Werewolf goes off to his important wolf business. David crawls out of his hiding spot. Could have turned me in. Stares into my eyes as if trying to peer into my soul and understand what it's made of. Would have been the sensible decision. But I'm glad you're not one of those sensible ones. David says this with genuine relief in his voice. He's grateful to me. Now, doesn't quite know what to do with that gratitude. Chooses so awkwardly. So, what's the answer to my question? What would you do if you were a vampire? His case reminds me of a lost fighting dog. Without a master, he's restless and can't find his place. What an advisor he picked. Lord help him. Probably learn a bunch of things. I've touched on something deeply personal. Lack of education, unrealized dreams, dangerous territory. Whoops. Perhaps before me stands a great unrealized astrophysicist, next Mozart. Saxophone? Seriously? Wanna play blues? David laughs, but the laughter quickly fades. I reminded him that he can now become whoever he wants. Break free from the usual tough guy routine. Okay, think about it. Just forget the saxophones. Always wanted to learn guitar. Hooray, rock vampires. Here, take it. We're buying a saxophone. David is about to turn and leave when he suddenly stops. He pulls a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket, scribbles a number on it, and leaves it on the table next to my hand, just as I reach for it. Hand covers mine, pressing it to the table. His skin feels cold, wet from barely visible scars and blisters. Grave-like chill sharply contrasts with the warmth of my own hand. Feel a slight tingling, like static electricity. Call me if you ever need a ride from work. Got a couple of ideas for what we can do before dawn. See ya. Damn. David says goodbye and leaves. The gas station sinks into absolute silence. Well, that was quite an interesting encounter. And that's also where we're going to go ahead and leave this episode. That's about all the time I got. So, as always, thank you guys for joining me. I do hope you enjoyed. As always, if you'd like to see any other episodes that I have recorded in the past, you can do so on my YouTube channel at Roanoke VT. And if you'd like to catch this live in the future, you can do so at twitch.tv/Roanoke VT. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you next time.